Doing? I hope you're good. Hope you've enjoyed Sunday and are just chilling, ready to go for the week. So we've got lots to get through this week. I'm going to be pushing out a lot of content, hopefully teaching you some things that will help you in terms of your mindset, your systems, your approach, your organization, of yourself. Because the more that we can control ourselves, the better that we can handle life, right? Life is always going to be very difficult. It's always going to be facing adversity, curveballs, punches in the faces. But I kind of feel like this kind of pivotal time right around now is a real clinical type of period when we kind of feel a little bit anxious. We don't really know what's going to be happening in the week. We don't know which direction the week's going to go. So what we're trying to do is kind of build up systems, mindsets, so that we can own the week. The idea is to be in control. So as the build up to this time next week, I'm going to be doing a 5-day Fire It Up challenge. Now, if you haven't done that, this is 5 days of coaching, 5 days, 5 different challenges that are all off the back of my book. All right, it's putting theory into practice and actually starting to get an insight into how to prove yourself. So what we're going to do here this week is a build up. Okay, so a build up to get ourselves in the right frame of mind, a build up to give ourselves an insight, and this really will be only for those guys that actually want to do something about themselves and improving themselves and actually take a little bit more control of their lives rather than just talking about it, actually practicing it. So tonight we're going to focus on these 4 things that I'm going to teach you right now. All right, so let's get into these. So the first thing I want us to be able to do, or the way that you can be accountable for your week or owning your week, is be accountable for your time and your energy. Now, time and energy for many people is just wasted on things that really don't benefit them. They're going down different paths, they're doing things that don't move them forwards, they're not wasting their energy, and they're becoming just burnt out mentally, emotionally, and physically. For many people will be sitting there on a Sunday night having no idea about what their week looks like. In their mind, they kind of visualize it, but there's no concrete plans. And I think people overthink this. Okay, how do I go about it? What do I need to be doing? So I just want to give you some examples of this, all right, so that we can make sure that you are on top of it. So some examples to hold yourself accountable in terms of where your time and your energy is going is think of 3 things that you want to achieve for the week. So we always want to be feeling like we're moving forwards. We want to feel like we're chasing something. We want to feel like we've got a milestone to reach. So if you, just by you choosing 3 things that you want to achieve this week, whether it's career-wise, whether it's relationship-wise, whether it's your health or your own personal development, have those things in place for you to be aiming to achieve. Don't get to the end of the week and gone, well, I haven't really achieved anything. I've done everything but nothing. I haven't actually moved forwards. I've gone through the same cycle, the same routine, and it's got me nowhere. So write down 3 things that could benefit you. When are your workouts going to be? Make sure you've got them fixed in. Remember, 1 hour out of 168 hour weeks is not a lot to ask. 3 20-minute sessions, 4 15-minute sessions. Small micro wins that will help you stay on top of the week, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Cut-offs. When are you going to cut off from work? When are you going to start work? When do we turn your phones off? Where does phone management come in there? Okay, so having different cut-offs, setting your alarm to trigger that cut-off allows you to have more control of what you're doing and how your day is flowing. Remember, it doesn't happen overnight. This is stuff that takes time to build, but start at micro level and then build forwards. Your morning routine. What time are you getting up? What are you doing on that morning routine? Being clear about how that's going to move forwards, which I'm going to go on to next. Number 2, know your AM routine. The number of people that set an alarm and they stand up and they're walking around the house and they're like, what am I supposed to be doing? You've got to have a clear plan of what you want to achieve in your morning routine. So that means writing down what you want to do. Break it into 4 categories. Being active, something to trigger the mindset, listening to something, meditation, something that's going to clear the fog. Clarity on what you're doing in the day, where your time and your energy is going. That builds certainty, that reduces anxiety. And then the very last one is gratitude. What are the things you're grateful for? What are you pleased that you've got? How can you move forwards? And that kind of keeps you anchored for me in life. So instead of feeling sorry for yourself or having that victim mentality or having this self-pity, by having more gratitude for what you have in your life, that allows you to be able to drive and move forwards more. Number 3, identify your distractions and counter them. All right, identify your distractions. So what are your distractions that normally distract you? Alcohol, booze, phone, porn, negativity, judgment, anxiety. Like, write all these things down. Like, literally list them tonight and ask yourself, at what point of the day do these things come up? How do they affect you? How can you counter them? But you can counter them by being more aware of them, by recognizing them and embracing them and doing something about them. The more you write this stuff down, the more you connect with it, the more of an insight that you have. Okay, last one. Review your days. Review your days in 3 ways. Okay, 3 ways. What are your biggest wins for the day? Every single win builds a positive state of mind. Every single thing that you do. What are your happiest moments? For me, many guys are just missing happiness. What are the things that make me happy? Am I doing enough that makes me happy? Do I feel in control? Do I feel fulfillment? Write this stuff down. And if you don't write it down, the more you write it down and visually look at it, the more you depress your mind of thinking it and going round and round in circles. Then the biggest distractions, identify the things that distracted you. Okay, which is coming into this number 3, writing those things down, understand what triggered you and understand how you ended up going into that self-sabotage mode and how you started like unwiring yourself or relaxing yourself or stressing out in the road rage, taking out on your missus, being negative, judgment, all of those things. All of these things just naturally make us more aware of what we're doing, our habits. We're building up our self-conscious mind, our conscious mind. We're being more open to how we run our days, the things that we are not great at and the things that we are great at. Because to get to that place where we're moving forwards, it's recognizing all of these things. It's being accountable for your time and your energy. Okay, it's knowing what you want to do, building your day from the morning up. The morning routine being your foundations, being your strength. Bang puts you in a great frame of mind, so when you walk out the front door, you're ready to take on the world. You're ready to take on anyone that comes your way. Knowing your distractions and how to counter them, absolutely key, right? Many people don't even recognize what their distractions are. They just allow them to take over them. They take over that mindset. You end up going into the same coping mechanisms, which is the smoking, the drinking, the anger, the frustration, the overwhelm of anxiety and depression, and it kind of builds and you just follow that same pattern over and over again. Okay, and review your days because it makes you more aware. And the more aware you are, the more that you can do about it. Okay, rather than burying your head in the sand and kind of pretend that the life that you're living isn't happening. Because reality bites at some point, and the longer you leave it with time-wise, the longer you leave it in terms of pretending it's not happening, the longer you're going to live a life of misery and not live the life that you want to live. Right? If you're happy being negative or you're happy like living in the way that you live your life, then great. But if you're not, you've got to start accepting that. All right? And that's what we do on that 5-day Fire It Up challenge. We give you more of an insight about what's going on in your life. We tell you the straight facts. We tell it as it is. I've seen a number of guys coming through who are absolutely in denial about what's going on until they suddenly get that insight and they realize they're not the priority. You are the priority. Doing these things makes you the priority so that you can be the best version of yourself for you, but everyone else around you. All right? I hope that helps. Just a kind of little bit of Sunday night motivation to get you driven, to move you forwards, to give you an insight. Go away and try them. Screenshot it, put some things down on paper, try and make this week the absolute best week that you've ever had. Just have that mentality and follow what you focus on. All right, lads, I will see you tomorrow for a Rise to Thrive show. Looking forward to getting back into normal routine, looking forward to delivering, and I'll catch up with you real soon.